14 fascinating psychological facts about dreams. Our dreams are an amazing feat of human psychology, and there's still so much about them that we don't understand. You may think you know everything about them, but these 14 psychological facts about dreams will challenge even the most well-versed dreamer to consider the subconscious in a new light. If you've ever had a particularly strange dream, you might find this information especially fascinating. 1. Most people dream every night. The average person has 3 to 5 dreams per night, but the length of each dream can vary. Most people will experience a dream within 2 minutes of falling asleep, with some exceptions. If you're not dreaming in this time period, it's likely that you're not sleeping soundly enough. In addition, if you find yourself waking up in the middle of the night and going back to sleep without remembering anything about your dreams, this is normal for many people. 2. Every culture has its own dream symbols. Dreams are interpreted differently in every culture. These symbols can include objects such as boats, birds, trains, planes, and automobiles, animals like lions or elephants, people such as parents or friends, and even colors like black or red. The meaning of these symbols varies depending on the dreamer's culture and what they believe in. 3. Dream content varies by age and gender. In general, men tend to dream about sports more than women. Furthermore, men are more likely to dream about objects in general than women. Women, on the other hand, are more likely to focus on people and relationships. The content of our dreams also changes as we age. Children's dreams are often bizarre and fanciful, with a lot of random events happening out of nowhere. In contrast, adults have more coherent dreams that frequently reflect their worries and concerns in waking life. 4. The purpose of dreams is still unclear. Despite the fact that the purpose of dreams is still unclear, there are many theories about their role in our lives. Some people believe that dreams are a form of wish fulfillment or a way to release pent-up feelings. Others believe they are simply thoughts that the brain doesn't have time to process while awake. What do you think? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more daily videos. 5. Some believe dreaming can be used to diagnose illnesses. In one study, participants were asked to note their symptoms and then fill out a questionnaire about the content of their dreams. Participants who had been diagnosed with a life-threatening illness dreamed significantly more often of serious illness than those who were not diagnosed with a life-threatening illness. 6. Experiencing intense emotions in dreams feels real even though you're sleeping. Falling, for instance, is one of the most frequent nightmares. It's also a common experience in real life. You're falling and you can't stop it or control it. You're plummeting and there's nothing to break your fall. As you fall, you feel intense fear, panic, and an impending sense of doom that feels just as real as if you were awake. And the dreams can be so vivid that they leave you feeling traumatized when you wake up, even though what happened was simply a dream. Dreams are actually supposed to help us process our emotions rather than make them worse, which is why we tend to experience more intense emotions when we sleep on something that makes us upset during the day. 7. What causes our dreams? The brain is the most complex organ in our body, and while we still don't fully understand it, science has done a lot of research to figure out what causes dreams. There are 2 schools of thought on this issue. One theory is that dreams come from random neural activity that happens during REM sleep, while the other suggests they come from information processing and problem solving when we are awake. The truth may be somewhere in the middle, with both theories having some merit to them. 8. There's a difference between dreaming and sleeping. Everybody dreams every night, but it's not always obvious when you're dreaming. The most obvious way to tell if you're dreaming is to perform a reality check, like pinching your arm or looking out the window and seeing if what you see matches the environment in your dream. But there are other ways. For example, in dreams, people tend to look at objects more than they actually do in their waking life. 9. Positive effects of having bad dreams. Bad dreams can be a sign that your unconscious mind is trying to tell you something. If you're having a bad dream about someone close to you dying, it might be because deep down, you know they're not going to make it. And if the dream is about being chased by an animal, it may be your way of telling yourself that in order for you to survive, the animal has to die. 10. 2 types of nightmares. Nightmares are more than just a bad dream. It's a form of dream disturbance that causes sleepers to experience anxiety and terror while they're asleep. There are 2 different types of nightmares: bad dreams and hallucinations. Bad dreams cause the sleeper to be aware they're dreaming and typically don't wake up the sleeper, while hallucinations can cause the sleeper to wake up in terror and have trouble going back to sleep again. 11. Can we control our dreams? Research suggests that we can to some extent control our dreams. For example, in 2011 a study found that subjects were able to significantly increase the frequency of flying dreams by imagining themselves flying. Subjects were also able to increase the intensity of the color red by imagining the word red over and over again. This research is still in its infancy and much more needs to be done before we truly understand how dreaming works. 12. Can other people hear us in our sleep? You're not just making noises in your sleep, you might be having a full-blown conversation with your dream partner. In one study, scientists found that the brain patterns of people who were dreaming about speaking matched those of people who were awake and talking. But unlike when you're awake, they found that the parts of the brain that are responsible for speech production weren't activated during REM sleep. This means that while you may hear someone talking to you while asleep, they aren't actually making any noise. 13. What is hypnagogia? Hypnagogia is the state of consciousness between wakefulness and sleep. Hypnagogia can be broken into 2 parts: hypnopompic, which occurs when you are waking up, and hypnagogic, which occurs when you are falling asleep. When people experience hypnagogia, they usually have hallucinations or visions that can be either realistic or abstract. These hallucinations can lead to lucidity in dreams. 14. Easy way to remember your dreams. One of the things you can do to remember your dreams is to keep a pen and paper next to your bed. Once you wake up, jot down as many details as possible. A lot of people find it easier to remember their dreams if they stay up for a little while after waking up. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe for more daily videos.